All right, today is March 19, 2018. This is the meeting of the Kubernetes CSI implementation group. First on the agenda is PRs that need attention. If you have any PRs that you want us to take a look at, please put them in the agenda doc and we'll go through them. First is liveness probe with host path plugin. So any updates here, Sergey? I think last we left off on Friday, there were a couple of outstanding PRs that needed a repo and PRs that were needed in that repo for negative tests.
It's not exactly that, but basically there were two PRs, they got merged, and I need to put together a negative test basically to prove that it's working, and I'm planning to do it like within the next couple of days.
Okay.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late.
Hey, no problem. Fancy room.
I'm at the office today, so I just got here yesterday.
All right, thanks, Sergey. Next up is updates for 1.10 docs. Felipe, any updates?
Hi. So yeah, still working on it. Still not ready. So I'm just trying to follow the steps for a demo driver, let's say. Experimenting here on my side. So far, everything's good. So once I'm done, I'll just update the docs and I'll reach out if I have any questions, but it's still under progress. Yeah.
Cool. So we're looking at next Monday, this coming Monday, March 26th as the release date for 1.0. So if we could get this done by the end of the week, that would be awesome.
Yeah. By the end of the week, it will be done. Sure.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks, Felipe.
No problem.
Last up is from Jan. The attacher should use volume attributes field instead of annotation. This has been merged, so anybody who's interested in testing the attributes, feel free to test it with an external provisioner and make sure it works as intended. So we'll go ahead and mark that green and remove that from the list for next time. And we'll keep that orange, work in progress. And this is also work in progress. Next up, I noticed that external provisioner has a lot of PRs that are currently outstanding. Does anybody know what they're about? Do they need attention? Some of them have been open for quite some time.
It looks like the external provisioner needs like a dedicated lead.
Yeah.
It just feels like it's no man's land right now.
Yeah. I agree. I think Brad was intended to be the lead for external provisioner, but I'm not sure he has the bandwidth at the moment.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it.
Yeah. Is anybody else interested in picking this up?
Let's see if I can do something about that by next week. If not, then I can definitely hand it out to somebody else. But,
cool.
I'll see. I have to see my schedule, but I'll see what I can do about putting time in to review all of these.
Cool. That would be great. Okay, and similarly, the drivers repo also has a handful of PRs that are need attention.
I will take care of that too.
Okay, thank you very much.
Actually, the last one there, I do want to bring up.
Yeah.
The last one there on those pools, it's a host path canary builder for the Travis, and it's still not as part of the build. So whoever is using Travis as a host path plugin right now is not using the latest. So we need to get this in. This is the comments there are like trying to make sure that this works on all drivers, but this only works for host path driver. So I need to probably fix it a little bit, but I do want to fix it so that everybody gets the canary of the latest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chakri, can you help review this? It looks like Luis responded to some of the comments there.
Yeah, and after that, I think we synced back. Okay, let me take a look at back again.
Yeah, I had to rebuild it.
Yeah.
Because it's a little bit old, but I'll let you know when I'm done.
Yeah. So actually, I have to do I have some pending make file changes. Let me try to push them too, because that should make the make process a little bit cleaner. And Saad, actually, most of these are dep enhancements and add license. They're like a minor.
Yep.
And the container build and the host path plugin are kind of similar. But I was looking like right now, even the Travis is failing. So maybe we need to fix that one. So I want to make that a priority over this. So
is it still failing? I thought Luis did work last week to.
I still saw the add license actually has a failure.
Ah, okay. So, yeah, let's get that fixed. And Luis, if you could turn on the feature that'll prevent merges on broken Travis, that would be great.
Also, Chakri, you may want to hold off on the makefile thing because we're planning after 110 to pull drivers apart and gonna reorganize it.
Okay.
So it may be wasted work. So.
Yeah, after 110, like a whole the drivers will be there. Like it will have only one common and then NFS or some common drivers or.
Yeah. We haven't decided yet what to do, but
okay.
I can just definitely say that drivers will not look like it does now.
Okay, sure. Sounds good, actually. Let's talk after 109 then. Okay, after 110, sorry. Okay.
Cool. Next up are bugs that we've been tracking. One is around secrets and how they should be handled by our components. If somebody specifies a secret in Kubernetes, Jan pointed out that if we're unable to fetch that, we should error rather than silently pass in an empty secret to the CSI components. The external provisioner change for this has merged. The external attacher change I've reviewed. It looks good to me. Only thing is that it needs a rebase. And finally, the Kubernetes side of this, I've reviewed the PR. I have some outstanding comments. And then whenever it gets in, it'll end up being part of 110.1, which is fine. Okay, so that's still in progress. Next up is should provisioner attacher use storage KDS v1 beta 1 instead of v1 alpha 1? Yes, it should. Jan is going to take a look at that. I don't believe we've had a chance to update that. I haven't seen any PRs. So we'll leave that outstanding for now. And then finally, the host path driver returns empty capabilities was fixed last week thanks to Sergey. So we can stop tracking that. Any other bugs you guys are aware of that we should be tracking? Okay, cool. Next up, we were tracking the drivers Travis builds being red. My understanding was that this became green with the fixes that Luis did last week, but it sounds like based on what Chakri is saying, that may not be the case.
Yeah, you can check it really easily. Click on that again. And then go to current in the leftmost. Yeah, it's green. So it's green. We're good.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. So can we, I think there's one outstanding item here, which is enforce this setting.
I'll take care of that. Okay. I'll take care of it. Actually, I'll take care of that for all of them.
Yes, please. That'd be great. Build is green. Luis will update all repos to prevent merge on red. So we'll leave that green until that gets done, and that should be good. Next up is all canaries were old because of changes in the makefile and Docker file. Did you get to this, Luis?
That is all set and done. And I also labeled it a brand new 0.2 canary a few days after that.
Oh, nice. Okay. That is perfect. So we'll stop tracking that after today. And then finally, Cinder driver devs are having issues with passing around metadata. We can discuss this after, I think, in the CSI community or elsewhere. I don't think there's anything there. Remaining tasks for 1.10, I need to get started on the blog post. I have not yet. That's going to come out soon after the release is cut. Update existing CSI drivers to be 0.2 compatible. Flex volume, Chakri, the last update here was the examples needed to be modified for attributes. Any updates there?
Yeah, I will get to it. Actually, I didn't get a chance. Give me like today and tomorrow. I will have it.
No worries. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So NFS was good. Ceph was good. GCPD is good. Mock driver, Felipe, any updates on this one?
As far as I understood, it was done. That's what Sergey had said, right?
Yep.
So
So
I mean,
there's
I think
two
it's
outstanding
ready.
things, which are a PR for simplification from Luis and make the mock driver return all errors as outlined in the CSI spec. Luis, David, and Sergey, we're going to follow up on this.
That is done.
Sorry.
Now, go ahead. Let you finish.
So between these two outstanding items, are they both done, or what's?
We met last week and we discussed that there was a confusion on what the driver, or what CSI test was going to be. And is David online right now?
I don't believe he is.
Okay, so the confusion was that the CSI test was an E2E test program, but it was not. I wanted to specify that CSI Sanity, and in the CSI test repo, it's meant as an API checker, not as an E2E program, right? And after we cleared that confusion, then we understood what the goals of the project were, and we were able to then merge changes after he fixed some stuff. So everything's going pretty well there. I do have some communication back and forth. I need to talk to Sergey and David again. It seems like we're missing. I'm starting to do the 0.2 changes in the Portworx driver, and I noticed there may be some missing checks for the APIs. So I'll check with them. But what I would like to do is send CSI test repo to containers. What's it called? The CSI repo, the container storage interface repo.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to move it next week after 110 ships.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. This sounds like I'm just going to move this down to the status update for where did it go? CSI test. Documentation, external provisioner, right here. So status is decided that it will not be split. David thought there was duplication, but in fact there was not. So current status is CSI Sanity was not intended to be E2E. Maybe some checks missing that you're going to add and then move it to CSI org. So that looks like it is in progress. So going back to the mock driver, are these still blockers for 1.10 or do we want to want them?
They're not blockers.
Okay. So as far as we're concerned, this is green.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, and the PR I'm working on already fixes the link, which is the last to do there, so it should be good.
Perfect. Should I keep that or can we remove it now?
No, you can remove it from my point of view.
Okay. So I'll just go ahead and mark that green then. Two things left for post 1.10. Okay. VFS driver is good. Permanent home for unowned drivers. So last we left off here, On the Cinder side, they decided they're going to put it in a Kubernetes repo, which is fine. We're still waiting to hear back from Brad on the NFS one to see where that's going to land. And then after these have been moved out, we need to break the remainder of the repos, remainder of the drivers into their own repos, which is what Luis mentioned earlier. We can do that post 1.10. And then finding a home for AWS EBS. Any updates there on Luis?
I did send an email to the mailing list for SIG AWS, and I also pinged them on pinged Justin Santa Barbara on the SIG AWS channel. I haven't heard back anything. So I'll keep trying.
Got it. I think at some point it might just be easier to just show up at one of their SIG meetings and
on a Friday, probably. Put it in the agenda.
Yeah, but it's not pressing at the moment. On Friday, Brad mentioned that Hemant from his team started working on an AWS driver, but they don't have a place to put it yet. So he's willing to help write a driver, but they just need somewhere to actually put it.
Where is this? What company?
Red Hat. This is Brad's team.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I feel like all of these are not 1.0 blockers. This is post 1.10.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the blockers here were the drivers themselves, which have been updated, then cutting the 0.2 release, which we can do on Friday, and then documentation, which is in progress thanks to Felipe, and then tests and continuous integration. The end-to-end tests for Kubernetes are working. David is still working on the GCPD one. It turns out to be pretty painful to get that running because of the secrets that need to be passed around for the GCP backend.
So, Saad, did David follow up with the cloud provider model? Because they also have the same issue. That's what we talked last time.
Yes, I believe he did. I don't know what the resolution on that was.
Okay.
I'll have to check with him offline.
Okay.
Another question. I mean, the E2E test host path, it runs, but I mean, I don't think it runs periodically because it's still, the feature is still not beta.
Yes.
Do you know if when it's going to be turned to beta instead of alpha?
So I think the feature itself is already beta, but it's not running because it has this feature in the name. Yeah. Luis, you had an item to pick this up?
Yeah, I'll take care of checking that. I haven't done that, sorry, but I will. I'll check that this week.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
That looks good to me. And then the mock driver, we decided we're not going to do because it is very difficult to actually do an end-to-end test with. So we'll go ahead and scratch that. And then the rest of these items, integration test, we punted to next quarter as well. So go ahead and scratch that out. And then CSI test, we got an update from Luis on what's going on with CSI Sanity. And there is a CI that is building CSI Sanity. We had a to-do to double check that this builds CSI Sanity. Luis, can you confirm?
As far as I know, it does because it checks it against the mock driver. Okay. Yeah, that's how it runs. I wonder who had the question.
Cool, so that's fine. The second question here is difficult to use, integrate with driver CI because it requires, for example, a Ceph repo. So I guess this was a proposal to update all these existing drivers to use, use CSI Sanity. But I believe Sergey pointed out that it's actually not very easy to use CSI Sanity in these other drivers. I believe he tried to integrate it, or I'm not sure if it was Sergey or someone else. Tried to integrate it with Tech and was unable to.
Yeah, so the purpose of CSI Sanity is to have a real system. So if you're going to use it against Ceph, you need to use it on the Ceph CI with a real Ceph system, right? You can't, the whole point of CSI Sanity is to make sure that the real thing is running, right? The real API driver is running. You could mock all the backend things, talks, and just have the driver do it. That's up to you. In Portworx, what we do is that we have a kind of a backend layer that we can change to any type of driver. So we change it to NFS, for example.
Yeah.
And we run that against CSI Sanity. We don't have to deploy entire Portworx cluster. So
that makes sense. So I think as far as CSI Sanity is concerned, it's green. For any of the driver authors that want to pick it up, they need to evaluate whether they're going to run against the real system or mock it out. And that. And as far as integrating CSI Sanity into these drivers is concerned, I believe David is already working on the GCPD driver to do that. I don't believe anybody's working on these other drivers. If anybody's interested in working on that, please let me know and we can add you here. Otherwise, it will be work that gets punted until next quarter.
Yeah, and let me just add again that the CSI Sanity is to test the API. So I definitely encourage every driver developer to put a mock backend.
Yep.
Because it's just checking to make sure that when you make this request, you get this reply. Like it doesn't care that you're mounting or not mounting. It doesn't do any of it. It's just an API trigger, right?
Right.
So you can take like the GCPD driver and just mock all the GC calls to nothing, right? Always checking to make sure is that, I send you, create whatever, and you give me back a volume ID, and I send it back. So.
Makes sense. All right, cool. Is anybody interested in picking up adding CSI Sanity to any of these other drivers?
I'm doing it to host path.
I'll do it for Flex actually to start with, right? So that I will take care of it.
Cool.
So, and then.
And somebody said they were going to pick up host path. Was that you, Luis?
Yeah, I already have the PR up there, but I just have to update it.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I missed it because I was off on vacation, right? So what happened to the iSCSI? Like, is anybody interested? Or
that's a good point. I think we've kind of just left that alone. I don't know if anybody got a chance to update it.
Yeah. Shilpa got some issue putting up a spec file. So I'm going to debug with her and then I will have the specs uploaded.
Okay.
So, and that's what last I heard. But after that, I don't think, yeah.
Okay. Actually, we should track that. That's a very good point. That should be P1 iSCSI.
Yeah, put under Shilpa's name. So S Shilpa Mayanna, I think has the GitHub ID.
Sorry, what was it? S
Shilpa Mayanna.
Could you update that in the doc, please?
I'll do that actually.
I'll put it in here for.
Yeah.
We'll put that as red for the moment. And thanks for the reminder. Yeah, I completely forgot about iSCSI.
Okay.
So we would need to update the driver to be 0.2 compatible, and we will need to make sure that it gets integrated with. And then make sure that CI is added for it as well.
Okay.
Feel free to go in and update these assignments. All right, thanks, Chakri.
I'll do that. Yeah, sure.
And then host path was Luis. So, okay, perfect. We can mark those as in progress. And that's pretty much all that we have for today. Is there anything else anybody wants to discuss?
Did you guys discuss Sergey's new repo?
The liveness probe?
Yeah.
We discussed it briefly at the beginning of this meeting. Current status is that it should be good to go, but Sergey wants to add some negative tests to prove that one of the fixes that he added works as intended.
Nice.
Other than that, it looks like it's good to go. Sergey, is there anything you want to add?
No, actually, guys, I mean, you could try to integrate it with your driver and see how it works. There's example of how to add that sidecar container with the image. Well, the only thing is that you probably need to push it to Quay. I don't think that the actual image exists there.
Oh, okay.
Luis, so if you could do that, that would be great.
Okay.
Or use your locally built image, just pointed to your local registry.
All right, I need to add the right credentials to push it into Quay. I'll update you. We'll work on that offline.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Thanks, guys.
Take care, guys.
That's pretty much it. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Right on time.